gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we will give a presentation on our first group assignment about employee safety and health based on Act 514 of Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 and Law Siti Fairuz Khamis and Jafri Jamaluddin. Before we start, I would like to introduce myself and my team members. My name is Intan Nurhidayah binti. Here I'm also with Zhi Ying and last one Khairul Shaulee bin Khairul Azhar.
Good afternoon, Doctor. I will present about employee safety and health based on Act 540 of Occupational Safety and Health 1994. The Occupational Safety and Health Act is an act which provides the legislative framework to secure the safety, health and welfare among all Malaysians workforce and to protect others against risk to safety or health in connection with the activities of person work. As we know, under the National Councils for Occupational Safety and Health, the Malaysia's Labour Codes will hear a case related worker killed by electric shock. Company 40,000 and National Councils for Occupational Safety and Health established under Section 8. Employee means a person who is employed for wages under a contract of service or in connection with the work of an industry to which this act applies. On the other hand, a certain procedure will be applied to handle the worker killed by electric shock issue. By referring to the legal codes and court proceedings, the article adopts the critical legal review approach. The outcome indicates the employee should conform and obey the occupational safety and health procedure stated by the Malaysia Labour Codes to avoid being treated unfairly and being victim in the process of employees' health and safety. The purpose of this article is to address the employee safety and health under Act of Occupational Safety and Health 1994.
Definition of employee safety and health. What can we describe about the phrase employee safety and health mean? Employee can be defined as a person who has entered into or works under the conditions of an employment contract, whether or not the contract is expressly agreed to. Safety and health means the provision of safety equipment, a safe atmosphere, and safe procedure to ensure the safety and health of employees. Based on the case of Jabatan Kesihatan dan Keselamatan Pekerja versus Sri Kamusan Sdn Bhd in year 2050, Industrial Law Report 421, wherein the Jabatan Kesihatan dan Keselamatan Pekerja as the plaintiff and the Sri Kamusan Sdn Bhd as the defendant. In this case, the court used Section 2 of the United Kingdom's Health and Safety at Work Act 1974, exemplified as HASAWA in support of Section 15(1) of OSHA application. As stated in Section 2 of HASAWA, employees' health and safety are defined by law as it shall be the duty of every employer to ensure, so far as is reasonably practicable, the health, safety, and welfare at work of all his employees. The Guidelines on Occupational Safety and Health Act OSHA 1994. The guidelines of OSHA were developed in cooperation with main players in the safety sector of the country, wherein the attendance included safety and health specialists, government representatives, lawyers, universities, employer federation, and trade unions. Guidelines by Department of Occupational Safety and Health (DOSH). Their main priority is for ensuring that people at work are safe and healthy as a result of their professional activities. OSHA is also require both of employer and self-employed person to establish a written statement of their safety and health policy and amend it as needed. In Section 16 of the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1994, standards mentions the need for safety and health policies. That is, except in such cases as may be prescribed, it shall be the duty of every employer and every self-employed person to prepare and as often as may be appropriate, revise a written statement of his general policy with respect of the safety and health at work of his employees and the organization and arrangements for the time being in force for carrying out that policy, and to bring the statement and any revision of it to the notice of all his employees. There are three components to this policy. First, a general policy statement of the employer's commitment to safety and health. This is the outlining of the overall philosophy and intent. Second, the policy should also include information on arrangements made to ensure that the policy is implemented. These arrangements must include safety and health training, inspections, accident reporting and investigation, safe work system, permits to work system, and emergency procedures. Third, a statement of the organization for carrying out that policy in hierarchical management structure showing safety and health responsibilities from top manager to the shop floor. This statement must include information about who is responsible for occupational safety and health in the company, as well as their responsibilities. Under Section 16 OSHA 1994, as defined in the Occupational Safety and Health, Interim Employer Safety and Health General Policy Statement Exception Regulation 1995, state that all employers and self-employed persons are required to create a safety and health policy, with the exception of those who have a business with fewer than 5 employees. Employers must provide a written declaration of their occupational safety and health policy, as well as the organization and arrangements required to put it into effect. Based on the case of Osborne versus Bill Taylor of Highton Ltd, as now as limited liability, in year 1982, in case Industrial Relation Law Report 17, an improvement notice was delivered on the defendant corporation, forcing them to establish a written safety policy. When they accused of ignoring the warning, they claimed they protected by exception regulations because just only 2 full-time and 1 part-time employee work at the shop. So here, the justices agree that the betting shop was a separate place of business that was subject to the exception rule. On appeal, the court correctly understood the regulation, concluding that the determining factor was how many employees were on the payroll at any given time, rather than how many were on the payroll at any given time. An operation was exempt if more than 5 workers work at any given time. The Circular of Social Security Organization (SOCSO). As we know, all employees are covered by social insurance through the SOCSO. However, it is only Malaysian workers and permanent residents will protected by SOCSO. SOCSO will cover employees in terms of medical and cash benefits, artificial health and rehabilitation, as well as financial insurance and protection for their families. There are two SOCSO schemes that provide coverage to qualified employees, that is, Employment Injuries Insurance Scheme and Invalidity Pension Scheme. Based on the case of Regideran anak lelaki Manikam and Enovi Palmanite Sembilan Berhad in year 2020, 9 Current Law Journal 510, which differed from the Federal Court cases, claims for aggravated or exemplary damages arising from alleged gross negligence on the part of the employer are limited to claims for it.
I will present about 3.5 Occupational Health and Safety Procedure. Occupational health and safety procedure have to take seriously by both parties, which is employer and employee. Okay, the first one is employer responsibility. Employer is responsible to follow the Malaysia Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, which is stated that employer is responsible to conduct his business in such a way that he and any other individual who may be impacted are not exposed to hazard. Other than that, this act also mentioned that employer must ensure their employees' safety, health and welfare while on the job by providing information, teaching, training and supervision. Just like employer, employee also have their responsibility to adhere the occupational safety and health procedure as well. For example, employee is responsible to adhere the safety procedure because safety in the workplace is an essential component of any job. Employee also responsible to get occupational safety and health training to make sure they can handle the safety concern by themselves without being panicked. Okay, the following are some strategies the employee may use to ensure their safety in the workplace. Okay, the first one, you as the employee must be aware. Always be aware of your surrounding. Bear in mind that your safety is entirely your responsibility. The second one is maintain the correct posture. Maintain proper posture while at work to safeguard your back. The third one is take breaks regularly. It is especially important to take small rests while doing repeated activity for a long time. Number 4 is use equipment properly. Always be careful while using equipment or working with tools. Taking shortcut is significant contributor to occupational injuries. Number 5 is locate emergency exit. Always be familiar with the location of emergency exit and maintain the road to them free. Next is report safety concern. If you're aware of possible safety danger or risk, immediately notify your supervisor so they can handle the problem. Number 7 is employees must practice effective housekeeping. Make cleaning a continuous effort in which is everyone participates. Number 8 is make use of mechanical aids. Number 9 is reduce workplace stress. Stress may result in problem concentration and depression. Stress will make the employee difficult to remain attentive at work. The last but not least is use appropriate safety equipment. It is essential to utilize the correct safety equipment for work in order to avoid injury. Next, I will present the discussion for the whole assignment. The following is maybe the question that will be pop up in everyone's minds about this case. What is the standard of evidence the employer has to follow? Which party is guilty in this case? What is the punishment imposed on the offender? Where and what court are involved? I will answer all the questions based on the source that I have studied. Okay, the standard of evidence the employer has to follow is the Guideline on Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. Because this guideline shall provide assistance to occupational safety and health office in carrying out their task of enforcing the act in the workplace. This guideline was also created to protect the safety and health of all people at the workplace and those affected by the person at the workplace. This act also explains the responsibility for safety and health in the workplace lies with those who create the risk, which is employer, and those who work with the risk, which is employees, for all employers to follow and to avoid unintended accident that may be happen, such as the situation discussed in the introduction to this report. According to the case of the death of an employee in the Synergy Agriculture Company Sdn Bhd, it is clear that the employer of the company failed to comply with the Occupational Safety and Health Act prescribed by the law of Malaysia, resulting the death of the victim. As such, the judge handed down a fair sentence after the company, represented by Legal and Corporate Manager Siti Khairul Khamis, 35 years old, pleaded guilty to the charge faced of a fine, 40,000 ringgit Malaysia or 12 months imprisonment by Session Court Klang.
In conclusion, losing one work due to worker killed by electric shock can be a distressing experience, also can affect the employee financially and psychologically. For occupational safety and health purposes, work accident is unavoidable. The employer must try to reduce the stressful effects of the work accident on the affected employees. Employers also have legal responsibility to make sure a safe and healthy workplace. As an employee, you also have rights and you have responsibility for your own well-being and that of your colleagues. This article explains what these responsibilities are and how you can meet them. Under the Occupational Safety and Healthy Law, employees have a responsibility to provide a safe workplace. Science provides a workplace free from serious recognized hazards and comply with standards. Rules and regulations issued under the Occupational Safety and Health Act examine workplace conditions to make sure they conform to applicable occupational safety health standards. Employers also need to make sure employees have and use safe tools and equipment and properly maintain these equipment and establish or other operating procedures and communicate with them so that employees can follow safety and health requirements. Employees are supposed to know and understand the occupational safety and health process to ensure that the decision is lawful for the employee's right. Thank you.
Peace.